Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about regression, which is a part of module 4. Regression analysis is commonly used to show the correlation relationship between two variables. For example, say that you would look at some information about players in a cricket team and predict how well they might do that innings. Or you might even just want to examine the number of hours the students study and how well they do in the exam. Okay, for all this we can just go for the regression. So regression is basically comes under supervised learning. It is a machine learning concept which comes under supervised learning, basically for predicting the continuous value. So regression is well-known statistical technique to model the predictive relationship between several independent variables and one dependent variable. That one dependent variable we called as a target variable. Okay. The main objective of this regression is to best fitting curve, to find the best fitting curve for a dependent variable in a multidimensional space. I'll show you the scatter plot. Okay, with each independent variable being a dimension. So we'll see that in the coming slides. What are the key steps of regression? First is it will list all the variables available for making the model, and it will establish dependent variable of interest and examine visual relationship between the variable of interest by using a scatter plot, and find a way to predict dependent variable using the other variables. Next, we move on to a very important concept, that is correlations. Okay, relation. So statistical relationship are about which elements of data hang together and which ones hang separately. That means actually the correlations means co means together, relations means connection. Okay, so basically this correlations talks about how two variables, okay, how two variables go together and they may not go together. Okay, that is how both are related to each other or connected to each other, how both are not connected to each other. That basically talks about the correlation. That is, it is basically about categorizing variables that have a relationship with one another and categorizing variables that are distinct and unrelated to other variables. Okay, it is about describing significant positive relationship and significant negative differences, basically. Okay, that is statistical relationship. The strength of the correlation is quantitative measure, that is measured in a normalized range, that is 0, -1, 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. So when we call the correlation is 1, a correlation is 1 indicates a perfect relationship where the two variables are in perfect synchronization. Okay, the correlation is 1. Okay, the correlation will be having only two possible value, normalized range, that is 0 and 1. A correlation is 1, okay, indicating that the relation or the two variables, relationship between two variables are perfectly synchronization. A correlation is 0, okay, indicates that there is no relationship between the variables. Okay, there is no relationship between the variables. So the relation can be a positive or negative. Okay, that's what. The relationship can be a positive or negative. Positive means, say for example, if one variable value increases, another variable value also increases. Negative means if the one variable value increases, another variable value decreases. It is opposite. That is negative, inverse relationship. Okay. So therefore, a good measure of correlation is the correlation coefficient. What is this correlation coefficient? It is nothing but which is the square root of a correlation. Correlation coefficient is the square root of a correlation. So correlation values can range between -1, 0 and +1. Okay. So when we call that R is a value of 0, that is there is no relationship. R is 0 when there is no relationship. R is 1, there is a perfect relationship in the same direction. That means, as I told, one variable value increases means another variable value also increases. Okay, so that is perfect relationship. So here R is -1. Okay, shows the perfect relationship but moving in an opposite direction. Okay, it will be moving in a reverse direction, inverse. So next we move on to a formula. Okay, here there is two numeric variables are given, that is one is x and one another is y. The coefficient of correlation r is mathematically computed by using the following formula. Okay, what is this x bar? X bar is nothing but mean of x, y bar is nothing but mean of y. Okay, so this to find out the correlation coefficient, sometimes we call it as Pearson coefficient. Okay, remember the term r. R is coefficient, correlation coefficient. It is also called as Pearson coefficient. Okay, this is the formula used to compute the coefficient relationship. Next we have some visual looks. So visual looks at relationship. Visual looks at relationship means here we are diagrammatically can represent how the relationship among the variables are. So for that we use a scatter plot or a scatter diagram. What is this scatter plot? It is a simple diagram or exercise for plotting all data points between two variables on a two-dimensional graph. Okay, so it provides a visual layout of where all the data points are placed in the two-dimensional space. So it is scatter point can be useful for graphically understanding the relationship between the two variables. Here are some examples you can see here. So we have two variables, variable x and variable y. Okay. So here, if the variable, if you see here, if the value of x increases, automatically the value of y is also increasing. Then see x value here, let us say it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x value increases and the value of y is also increasing. This we call it as a linear. Okay, here x value increasing, okay, y value, it is the x value increased, okay, but y value may be decreased, but still it is in a linear fashion. Okay, so curvy linear, it is a curvy linear that here. So figure A, this is A, B, C, D, E, F. Figure A shows that a very strong linear relationship between the variable x and y. This means the value of y increases proportionally with x. Here chart B or a figure B also shows a strong linear, okay, it is a linear straight line, linear relationship between the variable x and y. Here it is inverse relation. That means the value of y decreases proportionally with x. So this third one, third C is curvy linear relationship. Curvy, okay. That means always the relationship need not be straight. Okay, it is curvy linear. Curvy linear in the sense here, in the sense it is an inverse relationship. Okay, which means that the value of y decreases proportionally with the x. Okay, however, it seems a relatively well-defined relationship. Okay, like an arc or a circle, like an arc or a circle, which can be represented by simple quadratic equation. So next we have D. It is also curvilinear. It shows positive curvilinear relationship. However, okay, it does not seem a resemble of regular shape. There is no regular shape. At least here we have a curve. Okay, we have a curve, but here there is no regular shape, and this would not be a strong relationship. And chart E and F, if you see, there is no any regularity here. Okay, so it shows no relationship. When you just draw a straight line, there is no relationship. See here, x is increasing. We cannot say that y is increasing or decreasing. There both the things are there. So we can call it as a no relationship. That means variable x and y are independent of each other. In this two, there is no relationship. X and y are independent to each other. This is the explanation whatever I told in the whatever I showed in the previous slide about the charts. Next we have different types of linear regression, different types of regression, that is linear regression, non-linear regression, logistic regression, like that we have different type. And in that, among that, the simplest one is the simple linear regression. Okay, simple linear regression. What is this simple linear regression? Here, simple linear regression actually it will be linear in okay state. That means here it is basically used for, it is a part of predictive analysis, okay, which is used to understand the relationship among the variables. Okay, so simple linear regression is a model that assesses the relationship between the dependent variable and an independent variable. We have already discussed it. What is this dependent variable? What is independent variable? Dependent variable we also called as a target variable, which whose value need to be predicted. Okay, independent variable are the variables, we also call it as a exploratory variable. Okay, so based on this independent variables value, the value of independent variable will be predicted by the model. Okay, regression model. So there is a formula. The simple linear model is expressed using the following equation, that is y is equal to v naught plus v1 x plus error. Okay, in detail I'm showing the next slide. So here we can see here, okay, y is dependent variable, because based on this independent variable we have to predict the value of a dependent variable. So b naught is nothing but we call it as an intercept. Okay, b naught in some authors they will be using y is equal to a plus bx, okay, plus a plus bx plus c. These are the constant. Okay, b naught b1 are the constant. Okay, here this is a coefficient, so they can be represented using other terms also, like a b c, like that also it can be used. Okay, so in some materials you can find here a plus bx. Okay, here b naught b1, like this. So what we actually b naught we called as an intercept, whereas b1 is a slope coefficient of x. Okay, where x is an independent variable, and this is a random error term. Okay, a random error term or a component. So this entire thing is a linear component. So how to find this intercept and slope? Okay, this I have given the formula here. So to find the intercept, that is here intercept, we have this, we need the help of coefficient, slope coefficient. So first the slope coefficient is found out, that is equal to the sum of x minus x dash into y minus y dash, where x dash I told it is a mean of x, y dash is a mean of y. So that is summation of, okay, x minus x dash into y minus y dash, whole divided by sigma of x minus x dash whole to the power of, it is a whole square. Okay, whole square. So b naught is intercept, where y dash minus b1 into x dash. Okay, this is the formula. You can remember this. In the coming examples, we're using this formula. We will be computing the values. Okay, so let us consider one exercise, that is regression exercise. Okay, to predict the value of house, okay, or a price of house based on the size of the house. Okay, the price of the house will be predicted based on the size of the house. Okay, so it is used to predict this price based on the size of the house. So the simple sample price data is given here. Okay, so if the house size is 1850 square feet, okay, then the price will be this much, 2,29,500 dollar. It can be in terms of a dollar. Okay, so here this data we can represent in the form of a graph. Okay, that in regression very commonly, okay, very commonly or popularly we use a diagram called scatter plot. Okay, so if we take the two dimensions, okay, when we take these variables x and y, here we have a x and y, so variable x and variable y, if we take the variable as a dimension, okay, in the scatter plot the variables will be the dimension. We'll take the x as a size and y as a price. Okay, x as a size and y as a price. So according to here, square feet is there, so you know how to draw the graph. So when we draw the graph here, the rhombus kind, if you want a diamond shape, whatever is showing is a house price, and okay, house price, and this it is showing that there is a linear relationship. Okay, there is a linear relationship. That means what? When the size of the house increases, obviously the price of the house is also increasing. Okay, then in that case it is coming as a linear. Okay, clear? So this is the scatter plot for the data, whatever it is given. Now next we'll find out the correlation. So correlation you can either calculate using this formula, as I told here, here this formula. Okay, using this formula we can create calculate the correlation, or directly in the Excel, MX Microsoft Excel you can calculate, or in the calculator. I have calculated the correlation in the Microsoft Excel. I'll show you how. So first I'll take down all the values of x variable and the y variable. Okay, it is given. It is a training set. Okay, so it is given for 1,850 square feet. 2,29,500 is the price of the house. For 2,190, the price is 2,73,300. So first we will take down all the values of x and y. Okay, then next what we have to do, we have to find out the correlation. Correlation here, the term used for correlation is R. Okay, here I am not mentioned. Please note it. It is R. So R, we have to use R. So when just we have to use a function called correl. Okay, correl is equal to correl. Okay, this comma this. Okay, set of sum of all the x values and sum of all the y values. Okay, when we do this, automatically we'll get the value 0.8911. Okay, this is our this is the value of R. Okay, this is the value of R which will be using us to predict the price of the house in the future. So here, regression status. If you are observed, here we have got multiple R 0.891. Here are same thing 0.8911. 0.8911. So we are taken only that 0.891. So multiple R 0.891. So this when we square, okay, when we square it R into R, this is R square. Okay, R square will get 0.9794. That is 79%. Okay, 79%. 79%, that is measure of total variance. Okay, measure of total variance is 79%. Then next, using the formula whatever I have shown you here, intercept and slope. Okay, sorry, slope and intercept. Okay, slope and intercept. Using this formula we can calculate the values for the intercept. It will be minus 54,919. Okay, now 191, and the size is slope. Okay, the size we will get as, okay, 139.148. Okay, using this, okay, regression coefficient help us to create the following equation to predict the house price. Okay, so using this coefficient value, okay, we can predict the house price value when we give the size of the house. So here it is given that the equation, this equation explains only 79%. Okay, 79% of the variance in house prices. Okay, so suppose one more predictor variable are made available. Okay, that is independent variable, also we called as a predictor variable. Okay, independent variable we also called as a predictor variable. So suppose other predictor variable are made available, such as number of rooms. Okay, like this you can see here in this example. Suppose number of rooms in the house. Okay, it may help to improve the regression model. Okay, how let us see directly. I have given the data set here, then the number of rooms here, same data set. Well, we have increased the predictor model, that is X. Okay, this is one X1, X2, that is this is one independent variable. This is another independent variable. Okay, this is the target variable what we have to find out. So here we are given, it is given that one more predictor variable, number of rooms. Okay, number of same procedure you find, we use to find the R. Okay, that is coefficient, correlation coefficient. So coefficient correlation between the size and the house price, which we saw in the last slide. So here correlation between the size and the number of rooms. Okay, size and the number of rooms. So that is size and the number of rooms. We'll get this. Here the formula it is given like this: A2 to A16, comma C2 to C16. So this is a correlation between the size and the number of rooms. This is the correlationship between the house price and the number of rooms. So this is the coefficient. So we'll see in the next slide that everything is done. So a multiple of R 0.98, that is we are taken this one 0.984 regression value. Okay, the R is 984 here, multiple R is 984 here based on the X value and the Y value. So here 0.984. Then next R square is 0.968. Okay, so coefficient, that is intercept, is given 12,923. You can use that formulas and you can create it. And one second. So here coefficient has given. Actually, the value of R is 944. It is 0.944. It is typing mistake. 944. Okay. So intercept is 12,923 and the size 65.60. Slope. Okay. Rooms it is 23, comma 613. So here house price is equal to. So we have to take this. Okay. Size into which need to be, we have the size of the, this is a given value. If we give the size of the house, it has to predict how many what will be the price of the house. Okay, so what will be the price of the house? So here it is given the rooms. Okay, and the coefficient value of the room. Okay, then plus the intercept. Okay, intercept, that is B0, you can say. So suppose we'll get the formula like this. Okay, we'll get the formula like this, that the equation tells us 97%. This equation shows us a 97% goodness of fit with the data, which is very good for business and economic data. Okay, there is always some random variation in natural occurring business data, and it's not desirable to overfit the model to the data. Okay, so this predictive equation, this is the predictive equation. This predictive equation should be used for future transaction. Okay, say for example, given a situation like this. Okay, given a situation like this, it will be possible to predict the price of the house with 2000 square feet and the 3 rooms. So suppose we apply this equation for predicting, we'll get the answer like this. So 65.6 and into 2000, that is the size of the house, plus 2361, which we are calculated into 3 rooms, plus okay intercept. Okay, when we add up all this, when we just calculate all this, we'll be getting the price as 2,14,963 in dollars. Okay, this is the predicted value. This predicted value should be compared with the actual values to see how close the model is able to predict the actual value. Okay, so this is about the linear regression. Next, we move on to non-linear regression. As the name itself telling, non-linear. Linear means what? Always a straight line. Okay, it will be always a straight. That means if the x value increases, y value keep on increasing or decreasing. Okay, non-linear means there will be little bit deviation. Okay, so the relationship between the variables may be curvilinear. Okay, curvilinear, that means it can be a curve. Okay, curve. So for example, here there is a example given to given a past data from electricity consumption in terms of kilowatts per hour and the temperature. So what is the objective is to predict the electrical consumption from the temperature value. So here there are some past data collected is taken. So kilowatts, okay. So electricity consumption is 12,530 watts. Kilowatts means temperature is 46.8 in terms of Fahrenheit. Okay. So here it is given. So for this data, we can draw the scatter plot. The scatter plot will be of this form. Okay, the scatter plot is given in the form of this one. So what we do, what we see in the first okay, it is visually clear that the first line, okay, first line does not fit the data well. The relationship between the temperature, here you can see we have two dimensions there in the data. One is temperature, another is the electricity consumption. Okay, temperature and kilowatts electricity consumption. So here temperature, here the relationship between the temperature and kilowatts follows a curvilinear model. Okay, where it hits the bottom at the certain value of temperature. Okay, it's the bottom at the certain value of temperature. So the regression model confirms that relationship, since R is only 77%. Okay, R square is also only 60%. Thus only 60% of the variance is done. Okay, so here the regression model can be enhanced by introducing non-linear variable. Okay, non-linear variable such as like quadratic variable temperature square. We have to use the temperature square. You can just use this one. Okay, this is okay. This is in sorry. This is in curvilinear fashion. So this we use another value, that is we non-linear variable temperature square. We are just giving the square of the temperature. Okay, the second line in the relationship between kilowatts and temperature square. Okay, uh, okay, it is a second line is between the kilowatts and the temperature square. So here computing the regression model after adding the temperature square variable may lead to following result. Okay, so here the regression statistics is given. R is equal to 0.998. In the same way how we found in the linear, the same formula, R square we are finding out. Okay, then we are using intercept and a slope, that is temperature, and temperature square we are using square of that this. So 15.87 we'll get. Okay, so here when we just use the equation, okay, this is actually what this coefficient shows. It shows that the coefficient of correlations of the regression model is now 0.99. Okay, 0.99, that is R square. If without temperature square, if we calculate, it will be 0.60, that is 60%. Here it is showing 90%. Actually, the total variance will be 98.4, means 98%. Okay, this means the variables are very strongly and positively correlated. Okay, so the regression coefficient help create the following equation, like 15.87 temperature into temperature square minus 1911 into temperature plus the intercept. Okay, so when we just give the value, okay, for the, say for example we are given the temperature, the value is 72. Okay, 72 degree Celsius or 72 degree. Okay, if the temperature value is given, we want to predict, okay, what is the energy consumption at the temperature 72 degree, then this equation will help us to this equation will give the value. Okay, predicted value this much, that is 11,923 kilowatts. Okay, so here we have, this is x independent variable, this is dependent variable. Using this we have predicting, but in non-linear regression we are just using the square of this to find it. So next we move on to logistic regression. So logistic regression actually it models logistic regression traditionally work with continuous numerical value data for both dependent and independent variable. Actually, logistic regression model can work with dependent variables that have categorical values. Okay, if you see previous linear and non-linear, it is basically for the numerical value. Okay, it can for the categorical value. Logistic values can be categorical value. Okay, such as whether a loan is approved or not, yes or no. Okay, like this. Logistic regression measures the relationship between a categorical dependent variable and one or more independent variable. Okay, variables. Say for example, logistic regression might be used to predict whether a patient has a given disease, whether the patient is having a diabetics or blood pressure, based on the observed characteristics of a patient, like their age, gender, body mass index, result of blood test, okay, and so on. So logistic regression models use probabilistic score as a predictive values of the dependent variable. So it makes a natural logarithm we know no logarithm of the probability of the independent variable being a case, and creates the continuous criterion as a transformed version of the dependent variable. Thus, the logit, that is logarithm transformation used in logistic regression as a dependent variable. Okay, so let's see some of this what I showed logarithmic. It will be using the probability of logarithmic of the probability of logarithm of the probability of dependent variable. Next, we move on to the advantages and disadvantages of regression.